Health Sector Reform Commission submits report. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus directs speedy implementation of recommendations of reform commissions. Free primary health care and independent and permanent Bangladesh Health Commission recommended, says Health Sector Reform Commission Chief. BNP Chairperson Begum Khaleda Zia departs Heathrow Airport for country on a special air ambulance provided by Emir of Qatar after completing her treatment in United Kingdom. May 5 today. On this day in 2013, fascist government launched massacre on Heazat Rally. Heazat Islam published name and identity of 93 Shapla Chottor martyrs. Politicization of mass media during fascist regime was the prime factor behind deprivation of journalists, says Information and Broadcasting Advisor. UN Security Council to hold a closed-door consultation in the wake of military tension between India and Pakistan. And in Sylhet, Bangladesh, a team win against New Zealand, a team by 7 wickets in the first ODI 3-match series. Assalamu alaikum, this is Saba Saktir Arshi welcoming you to News at 10. You've just heard the headlines, now onto the details. The Health Sector Reform Commission has recommended the inclusion of primary health care as a fundamental right and providing primary health services free of cost. The members of the commission, led by its chief national professor A.K. Azad Khan, handed over the recommendations to Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus at the State Guest House, Jamuna, today. Receiving the report, Chief Advisor directed the authorities concerned to take steps to execute immediate implementable recommendations of Health Sector Reform Commission. He said its recommendations will play an important role in resolving the long-standing problems in country's health sector. Among its key proposals, the Commission recommended the formation of an independent health commission to oversee and regulate the country's healthcare system. The Commission recommended establishing primary health centers in villages and cities and appointing primary care physicians. Later, the Commission chairman and members briefed the media at Foreign Services Academy. Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shafiqul Alam was present during the briefing. Health Reform Commission Chief Professor A.K. Azad Khan said that the Commission has advised transforming health education institutions into autonomous entities.
আমরা প্রপোজ করেছি যে একটা বাংলাদেশ স্বাস্থ্য কমিশন ওভারসি করবে, ইস্যুগুলো আলাপ করবে, আর স্বাস্থ্য সেবা বিভাগ সেটা কিন্তু ডিসেন্ট্রালাইজ হয়ে যাবে। আর একটা হলো যে স্বাস্থ্য শিক্ষা, এই জিনিসটা ট্রান্সফারেবল জব দেওয়া হতে পারে না, পার্ট টাইম জব দেওয়া হতে পারে। আমরা রেকমেন্ড করছি যে এই স্বাস্থ্য শিক্ষার ইনস্টিটিউট গুলো সবগুলো এটা স্বাস্থ্য শাসিত প্রতিষ্ঠান, সরকারের স্বাস্থ্য শাসিত প্রতিষ্ঠান হবে, সুতরাং ট্রান্সফারেবল জব হবে না।
আমরা এই জন্য একটি বাংলাদেশ হেলথ কমিশন, পার্মানেন্ট স্বাধীন স্থায়ী হেলথ কমিশন গঠন করার কথা বলেছি, যেটা রিপোর্ট করবে সরকার প্রধানের কাছে এবং প্রতি সংসদে প্রতি বছর এটার বার্ষিক একটি প্রতিবেদন উপস্থাপন করা হবে। আমরা এই জন্য এটি 17টি ভাগে ভাগ করেছি এবং একটি স্বচ্ছ জবাবদিহিমূলক কার্যকর ব্যবস্থা নিশ্চিত করেছি।
20% দেশের 20% মানুষ যারা অতি দরিদ্র তারা সব ধরনের সেবা বিনামূল্যে পাবেন হাসপাতালে, এবং এর মধ্যে 10 ভাগ সরকারি হাসপাতালে, 10 ভাগ বেসরকারি হাসপাতালে।
Italy is willing to hire more people from Bangladesh and will undertake measures to ensure safe migration from the country. Visiting Italian Interior Minister Matteo Piantedosi informed Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus. The Italian minister called on the chief advisor of the state guest house Jamuna this afternoon when issues of mutual interest, including safe and legal migration of Bangladeshis, combating human trafficking, and trade and investment were discussed. Matteo Piantedosi told the chief advisor that Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni was expected to visit Bangladesh sometime before September, as Rome was keen to renew and relaunch its bilateral cooperation with Dhaka. The minister said that the uncontrolled arrival of migrants by sea is very problematic for the European nation and sought Bangladesh's cooperation to eliminate illegal migration and organized crime. The chief advisor said that Bangladesh is eager to work with Italy to stop illegal migration and human trafficking. BNP chairperson and former Prime Minister Begum Khaleda Zia has departed Heathrow International Airport in London to return to Bangladesh. Begum Zia left London on a special air ambulance provided by Emir of Qatar at 4 p.m. local time. Her son and party's acting chief Tariq Rahman saw her off at the airport. Khaleda Zia's two daughters-in-law, Dr. Zubayda Rahman and Saida Shamila Rahman, are accompanying her. Khaleda Zia is returning home after receiving treatment in London for the past 4 months, as she went there on January 7th. Ambassador and head of the EU delegation to Bangladesh, Michael Miller, has said timing of Bangladesh's next general election is solely a domestic matter, while underscoring the need for adequate time to implement key reforms. The ambassador made the remarks in a DCAB talk organized by the Diplomatic Correspondents Association, Bangladesh DCAB, at the Jatiya Press Club in Dhaka today. The ambassador said EU does not have any opinion on time and it is not pressuring to hold election on a particular date. Ambassador Miller said the EU supports the interim government's ambitious reform agenda and emphasized that sufficient time is necessary to implement the reforms effectively. He expressed hope that political parties and the interim government would agree on a clearly prioritized and specific list of reforms. DCAB President AKM Muinuddin moderated the program, while General Secretary Muhammad Arifuzzaman Mamun delivered a welcome speech. Information and Broadcasting Advisor Muhammad Mahfouz Alam has said that the politicization of the media during the past fascist regime was the main reason behind the deprivation of journalists. He said the cases filed against journalists during the fascist regime would be withdrawn after investigation. Mahfouz Alam said this today while speaking at a seminar titled Journalist Killings and Persecution During Fascist Regime, organized on the occasion of World Press Freedom Day at the DFP Auditorium in the capital. Bangladesh Journalists Welfare Trust Managing Director Muhammad Abdullah chaired the seminar. Information and Broadcasting Secretary Mahbooba Farzana, veteran journalist and Daily Jajaideen editor Shafiqur Rahman, Amar Desh editor Dr. Mahmoudur Rahman, Media Reform Commission Chairman Kamal Ahmed, editors from various persecuted media outlets, family members of journalists martyred in the past 15 years, and senior officials from the Information and Broadcasting Ministry were present in the seminar. It is mention-worthy that a total of 61 journalists were martyred in the country during the fascist regime. Today, May 5, marks the Shapla Chottor Massacre Day. On this day in 2013, a deadly crackdown was carried out by law enforcement agencies on a mass rally organized by Heazat Islam at Dhaka's Shapla Chottor, allegedly under orders from the then fascist government. The incident resulted in numerous deaths. Heazat Islam Bangladesh released a preliminary list containing the names and identities of 93 individuals they claim were killed during the operation. The organization stated that this number may increase after further verification. Mufti Kifayatullah Azhari, a senior official from Heazat's Public Relations Division, emphasized that this is only a draft and finalizing the list will take more time. Following the incident, Heazat had initially claimed that hundreds of its members were killed, but had failed to present an official list, causing discontent within the group. Human rights organization Odhikar reported 61 deaths linked to the event, while the Al-Mali government consistently denied any fatalities during the operation, a claim widely disbelieved. Environment, Forest and Climate Change Advisor Saida Rizwana Hassan has said sustainable development is not possible without harmonizing agriculture, biodiversity and food security. Destroying the environment in the name of development is not acceptable, she said. Government must bring environmental concerns into the mainstream, she said while speaking as the chief guest at the second session of the conference. She voiced alarm over the illegal extraction of topsoil from agricultural land for brick kilns, calling it a form of plunder. Fisheries and Livestock Advisor Farida Akhtar and Commerce, Civil Aviation and Tourism Advisor Sheikh Bashiruddin also took part in the seminar. Economist and former Jahangirnagar University professor Anu Muhammad Abdul Awal Mintu, chairman of Multimode Group, Professor Dr. Abdul Rab, Vice Chancellor of Ayubat Azam J. Chaudhary, chairman of East Coast Group, Professor Dr. Tofasul Islam of Ghazipur Agriculture University, and Khushi Kabir, Vice President of Bangladesh Poribesh Bachao Andolon, among others. The UN Security Council will hold closed consultations Monday on the situation between India and Pakistan after Islamabad sought an emergency meeting on the issue. Pakistan currently sits as a non-permanent member of the powerful 15-nation Security Council, which is being presided over by Greece for the month. Islamabad requested close consultations on the tensions between the two countries, and the Greek presidency has scheduled the meeting for May 5 in the afternoon. Apart from the 5 veto-wielding permanent members, China, France, Russia, UK and the US, the 10 non-permanent members in the Council are Algeria, Denmark, Greece, Guyana, Pakistan, Panama, South Korea, Sierra Leone, Slovenia and Somalia. Israeli forces killed at least 19 people in early morning attacks, Gaza Civil Defense said, after killing 24 Palestinians across Gaza on Sunday. Meanwhile, a group of UN and non-government organizations working together to coordinate humanitarian assistance to Gaza has rejected Israel's plan to sidestep humanitarian groups in delivering aid. Israel has blocked all food deliveries in Gaza for 9 weeks. The Houthis said they would continue to target Israel's Ben Gurion airport in response to Israel's expanding its aggressive war on Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel would respond to both the Houthis and Iran. The Israeli military has begun calling up tens of thousands of reservists to intensify and expand its operations in Gaza. The Israel Defense Forces IDF said it was increasing the pressure with the aim of returning hostages held in Gaza and defeating Hamas militants. Meanwhile, according to Vatican News, one of Pope Francis' Pope mobiles is being transformed into a mobile health clinic for children in Gaza, fulfilling one of the late Pope's final wishes. Israel's war on Gaza has killed at least 52,535 Palestinians and wounded 118,491, according to Gaza's health ministry. The government media office updated the death toll to more than 61,700, saying thousands of people missing under the rubble are presumed dead. President Vladimir Putin said in remarks published on Sunday that Russia had sufficient strength and resources to take the war in Ukraine to its logical conclusion, though he hoped that there would be no need to use nuclear weapons. Putin ordered thousands of Russian troops into Ukraine in February 2022, triggering Europe's biggest ground conflict since World War II and the largest confrontation between Moscow and the West since the depths of the Cold War. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers have been killed or injured, and U.S. President Donald Trump has repeatedly said he wants to end the bloodbath that his administration casts as a proxy war between the United States and Russia. In a film by state television about Putin's quarter of a century as Russia's paramount leader, titled Russia, Kremlin, Putin, 25 Years, Putin was asked by a reporter about the risk of nuclear escalation from the Ukraine war. They wanted to provoke us so that we make mistakes, Putin said, speaking beside a portrait of Tsar Alexander III, a 19th century conservative who suppressed dissent. There has been no need to use those weapons, and I hope they will not be required. United States President Donald Trump has announced plans to impose a 100% tariff on foreign films, claiming that Hollywood is undergoing a very fast death due to overseas competition. In a social media post on Sunday, Trump said he had directed the U.S. Department of Commerce and the U.S. Trade Representative to immediately begin the process of imposing the tariff on any and all films produced in foreign lands. Trump did not elaborate on how such a tariff would work in practical terms, including whether it would be applied to Hollywood features that involve shooting and production across multiple countries. Trump's announcement follows his appointment in January of actors Sylvester Stallone, Mel Gibson, and Jon Voight as special ambassadors tasked with bringing back business that Hollywood has lost to other countries. Italy is willing to take Bangladeshi workers through legal channel. Home Affairs Advisor Lieutenant General retired Jahangir Alam Choudhury revealed this to the journalists after a meeting with visiting Italian Minister of the Interior, Matteo Piantadosi, at his office in the Secretariat. The advisor said the trend of taking visa of another country in efforts aimed at entering into Italy by crossing seas would be discouraged. He said Bangladeshi workers are hardworking. That is why Italian government is willing to recruit workers who would enter the country via legal channel and with valid visa. The Home Minister said the discussion with visiting minister includes Italian assistance for increasing professional efficiency of Bangladesh Police, Bangladesh Coast Guard and BGB. Among others, Chief Advisor Special Assistant Mohammad Khuda Box Choudhury, Senior Secretary to Home Ministry Nasimul Goni and senior officials of the ministry were present during the meeting. Now weather. Met Office in its weather forecast till 6 p.m. tomorrow said rain or thunder showers with lightning flashes and temporary gusty wind is likely to occur at 1 or 2 places over Rangpur, Rajshahi, Dhaka, Mymensingh, Khulna, Borishal, Chattogram and Sylhet divisions. Night and day temperature may rise slightly over the country. Country's highest temperature was recorded today at Bakhabari in Shirajganj, 36.8 degrees Celsius, and capital Dhaka's highest temperature was 35.8 degrees Celsius. Now news on sports. Bangladesh A team defeated New Zealand A team by 7 wickets in the first one-day match of the 3-match series in Sylhet. Batting first, New Zealand A team were all out for 147 runs in 34 overs, 3 balls. Dean Foxcroft scored 72 and Rice Murray scored 42 runs for the visitors. Syed Khalid Ahmed and Tanvir Islam took 3 wickets each, while Ibadat Hussain and Shariful Islam took 2 wickets each for Bangladesh. In reply, Bangladesh reached their victory target and scored 149 runs for the loss of only 3 wickets in 27 overs and 2 balls. Naim Sheikh made 18 of 20 balls, Parvez Hossain Iman made 24 of 12 balls, and Enamul Haq Bijoy was out for 38 of 45 balls. Besides, Mahidul Islam Onkon made 42 of 61 balls and captain Nurul Hassan Shohan was unbeaten on 20 runs from 26 balls. Khalid Ahmed was adjudged man of the match. Sri Lanka has announced the final schedule for the 2 tests, 3 ODIs and T20s against Bangladesh. Bangladesh will tour Sri Lanka on June 13 after playing 2 T20 matches against the United Arab Emirates and 5 T20s against Pakistan. The test series will begin with the Gold Test on June 17. The final and second test of the series will be held in Colombo on June 25. The first and second ODIs will be held in Colombo on July 2 and 5. However, the third and final ODI will be held in Palekele on July 8. The first match of the T20 series will be held in Palekele on July 10. Later, the second and third T20 will be held in Dambulla and Colombo on July 13 and 16 respectively. Bangladesh will fly to India tomorrow morning to participate in the SAF Under-19 Football Championship, built to start at Arunachal from the 9th of May. Bangladesh is the defending champions of the biennial meet. Italy expatriate footballer Abdul Qadir and US expatriate Farzad Aftab have been included in the Bangladesh team. Head coach Ghulam Rabbani Choton, Bangladesh Under-19 team captain Nazmul Huda Faisal and PFF Development Committee's chairman Nasir Shahriar Zahidi highlighted their expectations and preparation of the team in a press conference today. Bangladesh will face Maldives on May 9 in their first match. The junior footballers will take on Bhutan on May 11 in their second and last match of group stage. The SAF Under-19 tournament in Arunachal will be held on artificial turf. Nepal, Sri Lanka and hosts India are the other participants. To end the bulletin, headlines once again. Health Sector Reform Commission submits report. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus directs speedy implementation of the recommendations of Reform Commission. Free primary health care and independent and permanent Bangladesh Health Commission recommended, says Health Sector Reform Commission Chief. BNP chairperson Begum Khaleda Zia departs Heathrow Airport for country on a special air ambulance provided by Emir of Qatar after completing her treatment in United Kingdom. May 5 today, on this day in 2013, fascist government launched massacre on Heazat rally. Heazat Islam published name and identity of 93 Shapla Chatur martyrs. Politicization of mass media during fascist regime was the prime factor behind deprivation of journalists, says Information and Broadcasting Advisor. UN Security Council to hold a closed-door consultation in the wake of military tension between India and Pakistan. And in Sylhet, Bangladesh A team win against New Zealand A team by 7 wickets in the first ODI of 3-match series. That's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us, and we invite you to watch our next Bangladesh.